Good afternoon to all. Respected Chief Guest, Honorable President of Maharashtra Sales Tax Tribunal, Shri Babrekar Sahib, members of the Tribunal, Gute Sahib, Dawane Sahib, Shailesh Sheikh Sir, Chore Sir, today's learned speaker, Shri Vinayak Patkar Sir, my colleagues on the dais, seniors in the profession and friends. First of all, it's my proud privilege to welcome you all at the inaugural study circle meeting for the year 14-15. Friends, as per our tradition of the association and to educate member at large, we regularly conducting study circle meetings for the benefits of the members and to keep ourselves updated on to day-to-day amendments. The topic which are selected will be of day-to-day importance. This year also, we are planning to hold maximum number of study circle meetings. Friends, I am thankful to today's chief guest, Shri Babrekar Sahib, for readily accepting our invitation to inaugurate this study circle meeting in a very short span of time. This shows the love and affection towards our association as well as towards our tax fraternity. I thank him for sparing his valuable time despite of his busy schedule. I also thank all the members of the tribunal for their presence. Friends, now today's topic, the issues of builders and developers is already in dispute and complicated right from the word go. To clear all our doubts and precautions to be taken at the time of assessment, we have with us today's learned speaker, Shri Patkar Sir, who will enlighten us on the topic of taxation of builders and developers with reference to assessment proceedings. I am also thankful to Patkar Sir for sparing his valuable time from his busy schedule. And I am confident after the end of this lecture, all of us will be benefited. Friends, I will also like to inform you that the video streaming which has been going on of all the study circle meeting will be available on our website within 36 hours from the end of this lecture. I take this opportunity for the members to take the benefit and keep them as a permanent record. Once again, I thank all of you. Thank you. Now I request Babrekar Sir and Patkar Sir to please join for lighting of the lamp, and I even request the colleagues to please join us. Now we have to introduce today's chief guest.
Good afternoon, friends. Presiding officer, president of this excellent association, Sachin Gandhi, honorable tribunal members, seniors in the profession and friends, it gives me immense pleasure in introducing a person who is very cool, calm and composed. He is none other than the honorable president of the Maharashtra Sales Tax Tribunal, Shri A.D. Babrekar Sahib. Babrekar Sahib was born in Sirajgaon, district Amravati, and did his LLB from Shivaji Law College, Amravati. Honorable Babrekar Sahib ji joined judiciary as a civil judge, junior division, on 14th of September 1981 and was promoted to senior division on 30th December 1990 and was appointed as an additional district judge on 6th of May 1994 and has worked at Ahmednagar, Pune, Akola and Mumbai. And before his appointment to Maharashtra Sales Tax Tribunal, he was appointed as the Principal District Judge, Buldana. And now, from 30th of April 2010, he is providing his services as the President of our Maharashtra Sales Tax Tribunal. And his Lordship has always readily agreed to inaugurate our study circle, and that's why I always say that श्रृंगार के बिना दुल्हन अधूरी लगती है, मांग के बिना दुल्हन अधूरी लगती है, और जब तक दिल से दिल की बात न हो हर एक बात अधूरी लगती है। और कन्वेनर प्रदीप कहता है जब तक बाबरेकर साहब हमारा इनॉग्रेशन ना करे हर एक स्टडी सर्कल अधूरी लगती है। With this, I have great pleasure in presenting Babrekar साहब. Thank you. President to present a bouquet and memento to our chief guest, Babrekar Sahib. And to all our honorable members of the tribunal who are present here, V.V. Bhute Sahab, I would request the President here. Dawane Sahab. Sheikh Sahab. Borikar Sahab. Because I am not practicing in the tribunal, so I am not aware. I hope you would excuse me, and now I hope you will give me your blessing so that I can also start practicing and Chief guest would speak. I would request Ratan Samal Sahab, advocate who is here. We had to present him the memento of the last year for the best writer, and I would request the President to present this memento to Ratan Samal Sahab. And now I would request we would have the blessings of our chief guest, Honorable President.
Mr. Patkar, today's speaker, my friends, my brothers and members of the association. First of all, I am very much thankful to Mr. Kapre, who has spoken in good words and with all warm words. I always say that the STP Bar Association as well as our Sales Tax Bar Association, the members are very enthusiastic and have a very good academic interest. They always organize the various study circles and seminars to enlighten all members of the legal fraternity, of their fraternity. Today's study circle is also organized to achieve the object on particular subject about the Builders Association. The subject is no doubt to someone is complicated, but now it has been explained by the Supreme Court in various words. Your work as a members of the STP Bar Association or practicing on taxation type, I would say that I was foreign to this subject. My members, they are also new to this subject, but with the cooperation and academic interest which you have in subject, we all have understood and are understanding your subject, and I find it quite interesting with all its complexity. I thank you all for calling me to inaugurate your function. I wish you a success. Thank you.
Now I request our Joint Honorable Secretary Dinesh Tamre to introduce our speaker of today, Advocate VP Patkar. I think he has so much love for VP Patkar that he said that I would be giving the introduction, Pradeep Bhai, because I know him so much and I love him so much. So I think this is a tribute.
That is true. Good afternoon, friends, respected seniors, tribunal members present over here, and my friends. It is indeed a great pleasure to introduce a stalwart personality and speaker like Advocate Vinayak Patkar. I don't think Advocate Vinayak Patkar does need any introduction so far as fraternity of sales tax is concerned. But still, to bring before everyone the achievements of person acting as a speaker, we traditionally follow ritual of introducing every speaker before every session of study course and seminar. Advocate Vinayak Patkar is exclusively practicing in sales tax for last 30 years. He was president of our association. He is also past president of Sales Tax Tribunal Bar Association. Presently, he is chairman of All India Federation of Tax Practitioners, West Zone. He is also advisor to several trade organizations such as Builders Association of India, Maharashtra Chamber of Housing Industry, Indian Diagnostic Products Manufacturers Association, etc. He was also editor of Sales Tax Review published by our association for last 3 years. He has also chaired several seminars and conferences concerning indirect taxes. He has several landmark judgments of Bombay High Court. To his credit, few amongst them are Merin Limited, MRF Limited, and Saigal Auto Riders, etc. Just a week back, Honorable Bombay High Court has given favorable judgment in one of his case, that is Mrs. Shirke Constructions, wherein the issue involved was relating to set-off for goods used in works contract. He has also admitted, Honorable Bombay Court has also admitted an appeal in the case of Nikhil Comforts, wherein the issue of VAT on service tax is involved. Moreover, he is the only advocate from our fraternity who has himself appeared before the Supreme Court in builders matter and the revision of rules, which is the subject matter of today's discussion. Advocate Vinayak Patkar is General Legal Counsel and member of National Executive Committee of Junior Chambers for three executive years. He is past President Rotary Club of Mumbai, Parleshwar. With this introduction, let us welcome him with loud applause. Thank you. Now I request our President to offer him a flower bouquet as a token of love and respect. Memento also.
Our President has high hopes that after this meeting, all of you are going to get the solution so far as assessments are concerned for builders. Our President of the Sales Tax Tribunal has also expressed that now Supreme Court judgment is there, so nothing remains. So everything is easy now. Sir, After Supreme Court judgment, the things are more complicated. There are 3 writ petitions in the High Court. One is of Builders Association of India, another is of Prime Property, and third is of Maharashtra CREDA, where the new rules enacted by prescribed by the government of Maharashtra have been challenged on the plea of non-performance, non-application, impossible to perform. Unfortunately, the matters are going from bench to bench. That is because most of the judges, this is Maharashtra CREDA consists of our association of builders all over Maharashtra. And most of the judges in the High Court, when they were practicing, they have appeared for this some or other branch of Maharashtra CREDA. So whichever bench is good, he says, I have appeared in this, so not before. Finally now the matter has gone, petitions have gone to Chief Justice this one for his orders. Now let's see whether Chief Justice himself takes it up or he gives it to some other judge who has not appeared for these builders when they were practicing, of course. Well, friends, I said this that you are not going to get solution. That is because no general advice can be given or general explanation can be given so far as these rules are concerned. These rules have been drafted without application of mind, without knowing the trade, without knowing the intricacies, and therefore it is difficult. We have told the commissioner that the rule 58 and the rule section 42 which you have on the statute book, they are all meant for contractors, they are not meant for builders. You should have a self-contained code for builders. But unfortunately, to grab the revenue, they came out with the circulars one by one, they gave the deadline and lured the builders associations that no interest would be recovered if the tax is paid before the deadline. People filed the return, people paid the tax. And thereafter, the situation is that those particular rules under which they have got the return filed, they have been read down by the Supreme Court. They had to draft new rules. Those new rules now see Builders Association matter in Supreme Court was on 31st January. Supreme Court adjourned thrice and gave time to the government to draft new rules. When the matter was on 31st January, they came out with the rules on 29th January and gave it to the court. Court expressed the anguish, but court was helpless. Then court said we will send it back to the High Court. We challenge this in the High Court if you have, of course, if you have any grievance. And then, as you know, that you were permitted to file revised returns, and if you have any refund claim, you were permitted. Now, despite this, now the problem is, it is very difficult. They already issued the notices for assessments. In fact, that was also represented by the association that when you have extended the period up to September 2015, where is the hurry? Or get it extended for some more time. Because see, again these rules which have been newly published, if they are either read down or struck down by the High Court, then again you will land in difficulty. Therefore, let the law settle down and then you proceed to assess this one. But then, unfortunately, that another representation also had gone regarding that applying this composition of 1% to earlier periods. In fact, the commissioner himself has realized that it is difficult to implement these rules and do the assessment. Therefore, this commissioner, not earlier one, this commissioner himself recommended that you apply that composition to the prior period. He showed the association that see, I have recommended. But then that was not accepted at the finance department, this one. The reasons are different, but they did not accept. But at least the commissioner himself has realized that it is very difficult to implement this. Now why it is difficult? It has become difficult because they have already issued the circulars. Earlier circulars, those 14T of 2012, where they had asked for that 5% composition. Now, that composition is giving him the trouble. The builders, some of them, not all of them, but many of them have collected the tax, demanded the tax from the customers at the rate of 5%. Some paid, some did. The people who did not get the possession, they had to pay. The people who got the possession, they did not pay. So therefore, in some cases they got the payment, in some cases they did not get. Now whatever payment they have got, they have deposited into the government treasury. But wherever they have not given wherever they have not given the possession, that there they have got the one. But wherever they have given the possession, there they are not getting. There are several such cases where now consumers forums are fighting with them. But they are helpless. Why go so far? I will give you a concrete example. Our today's president, Justice Babrekar friend, a sitting district judge, he bought a flat in Navi Mumbai. The builder charged him 5% composition and service tax, and that composition was levied on service tax. The gentleman called up Babrekar sir, you are with the tribunal, sales tax tribunal, kindly advise me. Babrekar sir diverted him to me, say Patkar is involved in these builders cases. So just see, something can be done. He spoke to me. When he spoke to me, I called that builder, I asked him, what is the problem, why did you pay that? His chartered accountant came to me. He showed me the challan. He showed me the challan of 5% composition paid. Over and above that, he has also charged that composition on service tax. Now that the chartered accountant is also a learned person. And he said, sir, when we have paid it, then can we not recover it? Now see the situation. That builder was not giving him the possession. The builder which has paid 5%, that rule was thereafter struck down by this court. But because of these circulars he demanded, however, finally that issue was settled, but that issue could get settled only because he is a sitting district judge. Otherwise, I am afraid, all other cases, because see, they are not able to recover the entire amount. The money is given from their pocket. I always tell, whenever I am present in the commissioners meeting, whenever I am there in the tribunal, or sometimes whenever the High Court does high-handedness, I always tell them, sir, this is indirect tax. Ultimate sufferer is the consumer. What you feel that we are giving this one for us, this is the builder or this is the seller, but this is indirect tax, and the person who suffers is a person like you and me. Not that he doesn't lose anything. If you say 5%, he collects 5%. Now, to get back, now that 5% which he has paid in the government treasury, to get him back, it will take years to take. And the government will drag him to the High Court for the purpose of getting reform. That everyone knows. See, this is the problem. Now there are number of such problems, but in the near future, or maybe even if the writ petition is heard, we are not confident that the High Court will give any ruling, because see, normally High Court or Supreme Court, they expect you to come after assessment, because then otherwise they have to decide the issue in limine. When the assessments are done or when there is appeal, second appeal, then they get the entire picture. So therefore, in most of the cases they are reluctant. But then the problem is, here the rules are such that you have to pay more than what you are required to pay legally. So let's see whether I go. But then even if that matter is not taken up or it is not, we are made to withdraw the writ petition. Now you have received the assessment notice. Then in that case, what you should do? Now kindly see. You remember two things in your mind. As I have said, it's not possible to generalize the thing. It will depend on the facts of each case, and each case is different. The building construction, the types of building construction, it is different in different areas, in different sectors. How I'll explain to you. Now see, even in Mumbai there is new construction, Mumbai there is redevelopment, Mumbai there is the SRA scheme redevelopment scheme. These rules which they are drafted, they are not applying to this. They are applying only to new construction. They have only those builders before them who have their own plot or who have taken the plot on lease or something and constructed the building. But these rules nowhere are applicable to this SRA scheme. I'll just give you the example. Take redevelopment. Redevelopment, since I am staying in Villeparle, I'll give you that example. Villeparle, the maximum height is 7 floors. You can't, that is because of there is an airport of restriction. Airport is just adjacent. Now, there are number of redevelopment. The existing buildings are of 3 to 4 floors or maybe 5 floors. The builder gets only 2 floors. Now, when the builder builds, he has to give free areas to the persons who are staying in those buildings. He gives free carpet area of the existing tenement. In addition, he gives 10% or 20%, it all depends on the negotiation, to those existing members. And then he gets maybe 1 or 2 floor, maybe 4, 5, whatever it is, flats for sale. Now, when he constructs, what he does, or this is a general practice, what that builder always sells the flats which are there on the upper floor. That is because then only he'll be able to fetch a good price. All other lower floors, 3 floors, 4 floors, they are made for the existing tenants or members. Now whatever material he uses, that majority material goes for this existing where there is no consideration. Entire framework is constructed, and then those only walls and water it is. Otherwise material goes in foundation, material goes in other things. Now there is no solution in this problem for such type of issue. This is one redevelopment. Go to slum development scheme. I have one of the writ petitions of that Siddhi Vinayak. That Siddhi Vinayak had got the contract from this scheme redevelopment board. There were hutments. There were 95 hutments. He is supposed to construct that 95 hutments and give 95 tenements and give them free to those people. The area 225 per square feet area is required to give to those people. Now, there are other schemes where under he has to give, that is called project affected schemes. Project affected means if the road is widened, then those shops and the people who are there, their area is cut. For them, this SRA board has to give them free. Those free also he has to give. So likewise, he has given 200 tenements to those people. Now another condition there is, first he has to construct those 95 tenements for the existing hut dwellers, then those 200 tenements for the project affected people, and thereafter he can construct a building for sale outside. That is the condition under that sanction. Now you show me in this rule anywhere it is mentioned that such a, because that is already a immovable property. If it is a immovable property, where is the deduction for that? They have given you stage-wise deduction. If agreement is entered into on the 14th floor, up to 14th floor the builder builds for himself. But and thereafter he will be liable to pay tax. But what about those tenements where he has given free? And which is the immovable property? Kindly see the Supreme Court judgment. Therefore I told you, before going for assessment, this can't be generalized, but before going for assessment, you have to keep in your mind 2-3 things. Firstly, what is the Constitution amendment and why it was done? In the year 1983, the Constitution was amended just to give the powers to the state government to levy the tax on the goods which are involved in the immovable property. That is all, nothing further. By legal fiction, that indivisible property was made divisible. That is all, nothing. Because earlier to that, under that Sale of Goods Act 1935, the Supreme Court had given judgment which is reported in 9 HTC, where they were saying that if you are buying a brick, if there is a sale of brick, then tax can't be levied. But if you are buying the brick, and if the transfer of property is not in very goods, because here the transfer of property is in home, then you are not competent to levy. Therefore, that Constitution amendment was made, and government was empowered to levy tax on the goods involved in the execution of works contract of that building. That is all, nothing further. That is the legal fiction, and that legal fiction has to be carried to its logical end. You cannot stretch it further.